What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Random Video Blog, where every single Friday right here on the show, I, Graham G.S. Matthews, run down my rambling wrestling thoughts, share a few stories, etc., etc. And in case you've been living under a rock, you probably already know by now, The Shield is back, baby, in WWE. They formed, broke up, and reunited all in the same city, Indianapolis, Indiana, last Monday night on Raw. And this Sunday, the TLC pay-per-view, in their reunion match, they're taking on The Miz, The Bar, and Braun Strowman in a 4-on-3 handicap TLC match. How fucking awesome is that? I love The Shield. And I know I've done a random video blog here on the channel before talking about how the Nexus is my favorite faction of all time. I might have been lying. I might have my thoughts changed. And it's not just because I'm on a Shield binge right now because they just came back together. But when you consider how they were booked when they were together, when they broke up, and now coming back together 3.5 years later officially, it really is amazing. And I really would argue it is one of the most successful factions WWE has ever done. There is no doubt about that. That being said, though, I love The Shield, and at some point this week, I am putting up an article, if it's not already up, on hiddenremote.com with the top 5 best Shield matches they had from 2012 to 2014. Maybe the 4-on-3 handicap match coming up this Sunday will end up on that list eventually, but for now, I'm just putting their matches from their original run, from their debut to when they broke up in 2014 on my birthday, which was the worst birthday ever. Anyway, so because I'm doing that for an article, I thought it was fitting for the random video blog if I talked about my top 5 favorite personal moments of theirs, of The Shield, involving Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins from their original run. I wanted to put the reunion on here, but I feel like it's way too soon. So I'm going to put from their original run from 2012 to 2014, my top 5 favorite personal Shield moments in the WWE. Kicking off with number 5 here, how can it not include the debut of the Shield from Survivor Series of 2012? No one saw it coming. It was the main event of the show, and it was a solid show, but it was far from memorable. It was CM Punk versus The Ryback versus John Cena in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Ryback was about to win. He laid out John Cena with a shell shocked, and I think he covered Cena. But before he can get a 3 count, out came the Shield. And I only recognized Ambrose. I didn't follow any of his indie work. I'd only really heard certain things about him through his FCW stuff. I obviously knew who Seth Rollins was from NXT. I had no idea who Roman Reigns was. And it was rumored that was supposed to be Cassius Ohno, but Triple H wanted Roman Reigns. Anyway, and I think Roman worked for that spot more than Cassius Ohno did. It would have been more like a... If Cassius Ohno was in the group, it would have been more of Undisputed Era than The Shield. But again, that's just my opinion. So they come through the crowd, they lay out Ryback, they put him through the table at ringside the commentary table via the Shield powerbomb, and help CM Punk retain the WWE Championship. Now, the moment itself, I could talk about the aftermath and how it was speculated that they were working with CM Punk to help him retain the WWE title, and all this other stuff, how they were working with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. That never came to be. That would have been amazing. It never came to be, though. But the moment itself was really fucking cool because no one knew what the hell was going on. It's like, holy shit, I was marking the hell out. Like, that's Seth Rollins, that's Dean Ambrose, that's Samoan guy, yeah, but it's awesome, yeah. And it was really cool, and it was funny because that same exact day, I remember very vividly on Twitter, and I can pull up the tweet at some point on Twitter if you ask me, if I go back and find it. I remember tweeting that evening that I wanted the Nexus to come back and help CM Punk retain the WWE title. Now, that sounded ridiculous because Daniel Bryan was doing his own thing, Wade Barrett was doing his own thing, Ryback was in the match. That would have been just dumb. Or maybe help Ryback win the championship. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I really wanted the Nexus to come back. And the funny thing is that when the Shield did their first sit-down interview, 8 days later on Raw, they addressed that fact. They said, we're not the Nexus, we're not the NWO, go watch their DVD if you want the NWO. We're the Shield from Injustice. We are the Shield, was Dean Ambrose's exact words, and I'll never forget that. But the debut itself was incredible and really set the tone for what their run would be in the years to come. And how many people can say they debuted in the main event of a Big 4 pay-per-view like Survivor Series? Sting, obviously, from 2014, from 2 years later. But the Shield joined an exclusive group of Sting, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, and The Rock as superstars who debuted at Survivor Series. That's a pretty elite group. In the moment itself, in the WWE Championship match, everything about it was epic, and it got people talking going into Raw the next night, which is what, again, set the tone for their amazing run in the next year and a half. Coming in at number 4 from Extreme Rules 2013 was when all 3 members of the Shield won gold. So It's kind of combining two separate moments. It's kind of combining two separate moments here, so I'm kind of sort of cheating. But I thought the whole event was all about the Shield. And there were a few good matches on that show. But Extreme Rules 2013 will forever be remembered as the night Shield won gold. First, with the United States Championship, Dean Ambrose knocking off Kofi Kingston in a fun match to become the first ever, to win his first United States Championship. And he will hold that belt for the next year, pretty much. The longest United States champion in WWE history. And then right after that, out came Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane to defend their tag team titles against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Rollins and Reigns knocking off Team Hell No in a tornado tag team match to win the WWE Tag Team Championships. So both championships, all three members, golden in one night. And it was a great milestone for the Shield after they had spent the first 6 months of their run knocking off the likes of Ryback, Team Hell No, attacking The Rock, attacking Chris Jericho, Sheamus, and John Cena, and so many others. And finally, they became golden on this night, ruling both the mid-card and tag team divisions in the WWE to keep their momentum alive. After that, coming in at number 3 was right before Extreme Rules 2013 from the April 8th, 2013 edition of Raw, the night after WrestleMania 29, when The Shield interrupted The Undertaker. So The Undertaker was fresh off his match with CM Punk at WrestleMania 29, extending hhis streak to 21-0. He came out to Raw the next night, and also it was very rare that The Undertaker came out to Raw the next night after WrestleMania. First of all, he was a SmackDown guy, but even when the brand split was dead, he would still disappear after WrestleMania. But he showed up the night after WrestleMania this year to talk about his win over CM Punk, and then honoring the Paul Bearer, who had just died, and how he did it in the memory of Paul Bearer. He talked for no more than like 2 minutes before the Shield's music hit, and it was a feeling like, oh shit's about to go down. And that was what I loved about the Shield, and they still have that today. I mean, they just reunited, but that was what I loved about the Shield back in 2012, 2013, 2014, was that when you heard their music hit the arena, when you hear the music, shit's about to go down. And that was definitely the case in this situation. When The Undertaker was speaking, and you hear Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, the Shield, and it's like, holy shit, what the fuck is going to happen? And they surround the ring, and before they could pounce in The Undertaker, the fire goes off of Kane's pyro, and everyone freaks the hell out. And Kane and Daniel Bryan come out to save The Undertaker, setting up that 6-man tag team match for 2 weeks later on Raw in England between Daniel Bryan and the Brothers of Destruction, or Undertaker and Team Hell No, depending on how you put it. And their diagrams versus the Shield. But the moment itself was fucking awesome. First of all, we got the Brothers of Destruction back. They never really reunited before WrestleMania, from what I can recall. They kind of teased it, but they never really actually reunited. So to see that and to see Daniel Bryan in such a cool moment was awesome too. And the Shield interrupting a legend like The Undertaker. And after the Shield beat Big Show, Randy Orton, and Sheamus at WrestleMania, there was a question of what's next for these guys. And we found out what was next when they interrupted The Undertaker. Just an amazing moment. Coming in at number 2 is also from the night after WrestleMania, a year later, almost exactly, on April 7th, 2014, on Monday Night Raw. It was the end of the show. It was supposed to be Triple H versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and a rematch from WrestleMania, this time just with the gold up for grabs. Before the match could even start, Daniel Bryan got attacked by fellow Evolution stablemates of Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton. And it seemed like Triple H was going to beat Daniel Bryan for the belt less than a day after he won it, which would have been ridiculous. But before they could continue their onslaught on Daniel Bryan, out came the Shield, who had not been seen or heard from all night. And they kind of sort of already were faced by this point because they had attacked Kane, and they were in cahoots with the Authority leading in to that match, but they sort of weren't. They never really had any face-to-face with Triple H, but they did rebel against Kane and the New Age Outlaws, who were gone after that, and Kane, I think, showed up in this segment to help, counteract Daniel Bryan to set up that feud for the title soon after WrestleMania, going into Extreme Rules. But anyway, the Shield had yet to really officially turn face. They teased it by attacking Kane and the New Age Outlaws, but never Triple H or Batista or Randy Orton. But they did here. Again, when the music hit for them to save Daniel Bryan, people were like, shit's about to go fucking down. We better pay attention. And they came out and they had this great face-off with the Authority, with Evolution specifically. I mean, Kane was there, but it was Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns. And then Batista, Triple H, and Orton all 6 men lined up. And Bryan and Kane were there too, like I said, but it was those 2 stables. And it was a sight you never thought you would see. Because for a long time, people compared, myself included, Evolution to The Shield. But The Shield were so great for so long, and I never honestly thought we would ever see the day where we got that match. But we got it on this show. They were standing face to face. The crowd's going crazy, obviously, as any post-WrestleMania crowd would. And then finally, Roman and Triple H are going face to face, and then Roman attacks Triple H. He spears him, and all shit breaks loose. All hell breaks loose, and it's fucking insane. Shit hits the fan. The place are going crazy. The place is going crazy. Daniel Bryan lays out Kane. Daniel Bryan and the Shield stand tall to kind of set forth, set up this new era in WWE with the new guy standing tall. Just an amazing moment. Really an amazing moment that to me felt like a new era in the WWE coming out of this show. But specifically with the Shield and setting up them versus Evolution for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view the following month. Again, a match I really had always wanted to see, and a match that lived up to expectations, both that and the rematch of Payback a few months later, the following month or whatever. So that was a great moment. But nothing tops this first moment for me. Now, these 2 trios had a lot of interaction, but none was better than their initial interaction ever on the November 13th, 2013 edition of Raw. I think it was like a 12-man tag team match. It was CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, the Usos, and Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus the Shield and the Wyatt family. Now, prior to this point, we had never seen any interaction ever between the Shield and the Wyatt family. Now, not even a tease, nothing. The Wyatt family debuted in the summer of 2013, the month of July, but they had never crossed paths before. But they did in this match. They teamed up, and everything was going smoothly up until the end, when the 2 teams started to tease tension, and they were about to go at it, and they just started brawling out of nowhere, and all hell broke loose, and Dean Ambrose attacked Bray Wyatt, and Roman was going after Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan and Seth Rollins were attacking each other. It was incredible. And I think that Raw was in England, too, so the crowd went fucking nuts. They lost their shit. And it was such a cool... I put Raw, it was the 13th. I don't think it was the 13th. I think it was like the 11th or something. But anyway, it was a really, really cool moment. And the crowd was just going nuts. They were fucking losing it. And they really want to see these 2 trios go at it. And it was really planting the seeds for what we would later see on the road to WrestleMania 30. And leading into their match at Elimination Chamber, which was also great, and how they set that match up going into that pay-per-view. And how I don't think they ever really touched leading into Elimination Chamber 2014. And that whole feud was great. But this was what kicked off that feud and made people really, really want to see the Shield versus the Wyatt family. And this was before the Wyatt family became losers, as they are today, specifically Bray Wyatt. And the Shield was unstoppable. So this entire moment was just incredible. And the crowd went nuts. And the match itself was great. But that one split second, like the brief 60-second interval, that 60 seconds of just pure pandemonium between the Wyatt family and the Shield was something that you just could not recreate. The crowd loved it. Everyone loved it. It got people, whet people's appetites for an eventual Shield versus Wyatt family match, setting up that eventual match for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view early on in 2014. But the moment itself, again, it has to be seen to be believed. The crowd reaction, how they feed off the crowd, their own reactions, their facial expressions, the brawl itself, everything about this was perfect. And it still stands out to me to this day as my favorite Shield moment. I love the debut, loved them winning gold, loved when they interrupted The Undertaker and confronted Evolution on the night after WrestleMania 2014, but nothing will ever top, to me, the moment when they brawled with the Wyatt family during that 12-man tag team match. And all hell broke loose, setting up that eventual, 6-man tag team match for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view early on in 2014. So an amazing moment. Once again, my list of my top 5 favorite Shield moments. Number 5, their debut at Survivor Series 2012. Number 4, them all winning gold at Extreme Rules 2013. Number 3, interrupting The Undertaker the night after WrestleMania 29 on April 8th, 2013. Number 2, confronting Evolution on the Raw after WrestleMania 30 on April 7th, 2014. And of course, number 1, their brawl with the Wyatt family on, I think, November 11th, 2013. I'm pretty sure that was the day of that Raw. But anyway, bottom line, guys, like I said, I love the Shield. I'm looking forward to the reunion and their first match back this Sunday at the TLC pay-per-view against Miz, The Bar, and Braun Strowman. Here is hoping they emerge victorious. I just might have to buy their first t-shirt as a unit again, hopefully in the near future, because that's a pretty sick shirt, and the hoodie's awesome too. But loving the Shield reunion so far. Again, it's only been less than 2 weeks, but so far so good. Looking forward to their reunion this coming Sunday at the same pay-per-view they made their debut match at. They had their debut match at 5 years ago against Ryback and Team Hell No. And also be on the lookout for the article I mentioned earlier of their top 5 best matches in WWE between 2012 and 2014. That should be going up on Hidden Remote at some point this week. That being said, guys, as always, thank you for checking the video. I appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Enjoy TLC on Sunday. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.